Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Hijinks with a Hellhound by Louisa Masters, narrated by Joel Leslie. Chapter 1. Alistair. I jump up the front steps to my BFF's townhouse, but slow as I approach the front door. His perpetually grumpy arsehole boyfriend has a nasty habit of activating their privacy wards to keep me out, and I do not want to run face first into them and bounce back into the street again. That shit hurts. It wouldn't surprise me if he did it on purpose. He's the type of guy who gets his kicks from inflicting pain on others. Well, not really. He's actually a good guy, just crabby, and he does seem to like tormenting me. But my bestie loves him, so I gotta tolerate being kicked out of their house at 3 a.m. and having him put up the wards when I just want to grab some breakfast. Some people have no concept of hospitality. I let myself in through the front door. It's locked, but hello, I'm a hellhound. No lock can stop me, but I pause in the entryway. After that one time I walked in on them right before, completion, they've been pretty stringent about putting the wards up before sex, but Gideon threatened to cut my dick off and feed it to me if I ever again walked in on them fucking, so I like to be doubly sure it's safe. Also, can I just say how rude it is to have sex in the living room when you know you have friends who might want to visit? Shameful. Anyway, there are no suspicious noises, and the sex smells all seem to be at least a few hours old, so I head on through to the kitchen to find something to eat. I can hear the shower running upstairs and someone closing a drawer, which means they're still getting ready for work. Running a little late this morning. I'll make breakfast for us all. The kitchen is fully stocked, as Sam's kitchen always is, and I help myself to a cup of coffee from the half-full pot while I consider my options. I'm really in the mood for pancakes, but they're not in my cooking repertoire. For some reason, every time I make them, they end up either charred or raw in the middle. It's very sad. Instead, I stick bread in a 6-slice toaster and pull out the bag of oats that Sam buys just for me. Well, he used to buy it just for me. Since his transformation from human to shifter, his metabolism has been working overtime, and he's come to appreciate the filling properties of a big bowl of porridge. The first lot of toast has popped, and I'm stirring the oatmeal on the stove when Gideon comes in. He glares at me as he prowls over to the coffee pot and refills the mug in his hand. "Some of that had better be for Sam," he growls. I've known quite a few demons in my nearly 2 centuries of life, and he's the only one who seems to feel he needs to live up to the human expectation of demon behaviour. Although when I mentioned that to Sam, he gloomily told me that apparently it's a family trait. Sam hasn't yet met Gideon's family, just spoken to them on the phone, but they aren't the warmest people. Poor Sam. Even if he did choose to hook up with an anal-retentive arsehole who likes to rearrange people's cupboards and torture poor unsuspecting hellhounds. Of course some is for Sam, I proclaim. I love Sam. He's my bestest BFF in the whole world. Yeah, he grumbles, grabbing the toast and putting more bread in. 2 shifters and a demon can put away a lot of food, and 12 slices of toast plus porridge will not be enough. Maybe. I was going to make you pancakes, but you remember what happened last time, I say innocently. Would you like some porridge too? I can make more. He blinks at me over a mouthful of toast and peanut butter. I can't blame him for being surprised. He doesn't know I'm a master manipulator, and last week I did refuse to share my 4-pound bag of M&Ms with him, and then yelled at him for 5 minutes for being a best friend stealer. Finally, he swallows and says, "No, thank you. I can make my own pancakes." I shrug, like this doesn't matter at all to me, and say, "Sure." He seems suspicious, so I keep up a steady stream of small talk about how much I'm looking forward to spring and seeing people's gardens in bloom as he gets out a bowl and cracks the eggs into it. Only 4, which is a worry. "Good morning," Sam declares breezily as he wanders in, empty mug in hand. "Alistair, no food left at your place?" He wanders over to the coffee pot. "Are you implying that you don't want to have breakfast with me?" I place a hand over my heart as I lift the pot off the stove with the other. "I'm hurt. How could you hurt me this way? How can our friendship mean so little to you after all these years of devotion and—" Fucking hell, I almost wish he'd go back to talking about the damn flowers, Gideon mutters, and I grin. I knew you were listening. You pretended you weren't, but I could tell. You love spring flowers just as much as I do, don't you? You're just a big softy inside. Maybe it's buried way down deep. Very deep. Okay, so we'll need an excavator to find it, but you do have a heart, and... Sam's hand clamping over my mouth interrupts me mid-sentence. Stop now before he murders you. I won't protect you. I make big sad eyes at him, and he drops his hand with a sound of disgust. Why do the puppy eyes always work on me? It's evil Hellhound magic, Gideon says. You need to guard against it. I gape at that bit of horrific slander, but Sam laughs and goes over to grab a slice of the now cold toast. Are you making eggs? He asks, peering into the bowl, and Gideon shakes his head. Pancakes. Want some? I'd like to point out here that he never offered me any. Me, a guest in his home. See what I meant about hospitality? Yes, please, Sam says. Pancakes and porridge sounds perfect. I shoot him a pleading look behind Gideon's back, and he rolls his eyes. Make enough for Alistair, too, since he was kind enough to make me porridge. In my kitchen, with my ingredients. Thanks, Gideon, I'd love some. So nice of you to offer. I hand Sam his bowl of porridge with one hand and the maple syrup with the other, then grab my bowl and a container of blueberries and join him at the kitchen table. Gideon turns around and gives me a very level, very dry look. I smile back. Tomorrow, he tells me, I'm leaving the wards up. I shovel in a spoonful of porridge, because I'm starving. I really did run out of food, then pout at him. But then I won't be able to get in. Sam coughs. That's okay, I declare magnanimously. I'll just call when I get here. Or maybe I can stay over tonight. That would be fun. Just remember, no sex when I'm in the house. Your soundproofing is good, but not that good, and hellhound noses smell everything. Anyway, Sam says hastily and way too loudly, what's your schedule like today? Are you in the office or out? Sam, Gideon, and I all work on the same team for the Community of Species Government, CSG. It's actually something I'm insanely proud of, being one of the youngest members of such a senior team and reporting directly to the Lucifer, but I try to be cool about it because that's the kind of guy I am. I tell Sam. I'm working out in the gym this morning with Noah, and then Percy, the Lucifer, wants to see me. What did you do? Sam demands. It's hurtful, although maybe warranted. Nothing, I swear. He didn't sound mad. It's probably just a check-in or something. We never did get a chance for a 3-month review since I started this job. Sam still seems suspicious, which wounds me deep in my heart, and since I'm definitely sure I've done nothing wrong, well, mostly sure, I stare deep into his eyes and say, How can you doubt me like this? Don't you understand that true friendship is based on... Just eat, Alistair, he says resignedly. I give an offended sniff and settle in to enjoy my porridge as Gideon begins cooking my pancakes. It's so nice to start the day with friends. Motherfucking scum-sucking dick-eater! Noah shouts. You can do it, I encourage him from across the room. There's no way I'm getting any closer while he's in this frame of mind. He may be a 20-year-old human who just relearned how to walk and is still ridiculously weak from loss of muscle mass, but he's still one scary motherfucker. He survived being the test subject of an evil sorcerer scientist, lived in hiding right under his enemies' noses, in their compound, for nearly a year, then basically taught himself to manipulate existential magic in a way nobody knew humans could. And when he was taken captive again by that same sorcerer, he managed to teleport himself to safety from another dimension, a feat that should be impossible. So, yeah, stay away from pissed-off Noah. It's only been a few weeks since we thought we would lose him to the extreme malnourishment that was the result of that teleport. The going theory, because we don't know for sure, is that human teleporting uses so much energy that his body basically cannibalized itself to provide it, leaving him almost a skeleton. Some top medical sorcerers were working on him, though, and even though he's still got a lot of muscle left to build, his life is no longer in danger, and his tongue muscles are back in top form. We're all taking it in turns to work out in the gym while he does his physio sessions, partly to keep him company, and partly as a protection thing. After all, Dr. Tish, his former captor, might try to come back for him. "Shove it up your ass, Alistair," he replies savagely, intensely focused on the exercises his therapist is making him do. "I'm only trying to be supportive," I whine, starting another set of reps. Although really, I quite like having things shoved up my arse. Noah says something through gritted teeth that not even my Hellhound hearing can make out, but given the murderous expression on his face, that's probably just as well. I'm sure it would hurt my feelings, and then he'd regret it later and have to deal with a crushing pile of guilt as well as everything else he's got on his plate. I finish up my workout and watch quietly as Noah strains through the last of his. It's hard for me to tell, because I've never been good at judging human strength capabilities, but he seems to be doing really well. Since the last time I was here, he's definitely made progress. Part of that is probably because Andrew is constantly shoving nutrient-rich protein bars in his hand. Speaking of Andrew, right on cue, my phone vibrates in my pocket. The team has talked at great length about our oldest member's inability to stop fretting about Noah. It's out of character for the ordinarily laissez-faire 800-year-old vampire. On the other hand, when you've waited nearly 9 centuries to fall in love, and then your love is almost killed doing something that's supposed to be impossible, it stands to reason that you might become a little paranoid. I pull out my phone and read the text. "Andrew, how's it going? Is he nearly finished? Does he need me to come and help him with his shower?" I roll my eyes. Me. "We still haven't finished that conversation about why you were keeping secrets from me, your beloved secondary best friend." Andrew. "Again with this crap. Just tell me how Noah is. Should I come down there?" Me. "It's shocking how you managed to keep your feelings for Noah hidden from all of us for so long, especially from me, your beloved secondary best friend." Andrew. "I'm coming down there." Me. "Noah's fine. He's swearing like he invented the words and nearly done. Now, let's talk about how deception is a terrible thing for a secondary best friendship." Andrew. "Does he need me to come and help him with his shower?" Andrew. "And what even is a secondary best friendship?" Me. "Do you remember what happened the last time you insisted on coming to help with his shower? I'm not asking him in case he decides to turn that wrath on me. If he needs help, he'll say so." Me. "How can you deny our secondary best friendship like this? You wound me. It's like a knife right through my heart." Andrew. "I'm not denying anything, yet. I just don't know what it is. Did you make it up, or is it some weird Hellhound thing?" Me. "Make it up? Make up only the second most powerful type of friendship there is? Oh, if only I wielded that kind of power." Andrew. "Okay, it's been fun, but if Noah doesn't need me, I actually do have work to do. Stay biped while he's in the shower in case he falls or something. Do not let me hear about you chasing your tail or licking your balls while my boyfriend needs help." Me. "You're just jealous you can't lick your balls." "Is that Andrew?" I look up at Noah. He's standing in front of me, sweaty and mussed, while his physio is putting away the equipment they used. Yep. I turn the phone around to show him. "Don't worry, he's not coming down unless you ask him to." Noah shakes his head. "I love him, but sometimes I want to smother him with a pillow the way he's smothering me with concern." I smile. "Oh, you should have that printed on one of those fancy wall stickers and put it on the wall in your bedroom. You could have the outline of a heart around it with the heading True Love." He rolls his eyes and huffs, but there's a tiny hint of a smile on his mouth. "I'm going to shower." I fall in step behind him, slowing my usual pace to match his slightly shaky one. "Me too, although your vampire daddy says I'm not allowed to shift and lick my balls in the locker room in case you need me to." He stops so sharply that I take 2 more steps before I even realize and turn back. There's a look of horror on his face that has me scanning for the threat. Nothing. "What?" I ask, and he sputters. What? I don't even know where to start. Wait, yes I do. Don't you ever call Andrew that again. My vampire daddy? What the fuck have you been snorting?" "Oh, come on, what else should I call it? He's a much older man who insists on taking care of you." And he's a vampire. It fits perfectly. His glare is terrifying, even though I can see the slight tremor racing through his exhausted muscles. I prudently take a step back. He hasn't been using the magic during his recovery, since nobody's sure if it would hinder him, but I'm fully aware he's capable of throwing fireballs if he wants to. He insists on taking care of me because I almost died, you nutjob, and I still barely have the strength to get through the day. His expression changes suddenly, and he sighs. Maybe I shouldn't smother him after all, he concedes. You're still an asshole, though. Do you really lick your own balls? And in a public place? Snorting, I offer him an arm to lean on as we continue to the locker room. It's not far. The staff gym attached to the CSG is small, but he's pushed himself pretty hard this morning and probably needs to sit down for a bit. You only wish you could lick your own balls. All you people who can't do it seem to talk about it an awful lot. And dude, when I'm in candid form, they're right out there for everyone to see anyway. What does it matter if I'm licking them or not? He just shakes his head, seemingly lost for words. It's so true, though. Other species talk about hellhounds licking balls all the time. We don't ever bring it up. We just do it. Even the cursed cats, feelid shifters, get all weird about it, and they're capable of doing it themselves. I don't think I've ever seen a feelid licking their balls, though. They've gotta, right? I mean, why would anyone waste that ability? Maybe they're just squeamish about doing it in public. In the locker room, I make Noah sit on a bench while I get his towel and body wash, turn on the water in one of the shower stalls, and then find the shower stool Andrew insisted on bringing in. I know Noah hates using it, but I stick it in the stall anyway. It's his call if he wants to ignore it, but at least I know I've done the right thing. I think he'll use it today, though. I go back to get him, and as he hauls himself to his feet, I ask quietly, "Do you want some help? Or I can call Andrew." His smile is tired. "Spot me walking over, if you don't mind," he says. "I'll be okay in there. I might just take a break before going back upstairs." Super fucking badass. Anyone who says humans are a lesser species has no idea what they're talking about. Andrew pounces on us the second we reach the doorway to our shared office. Noah refused to use the wheelchair that Andrew brings everywhere, just in case, so our journey from the gym has been slow, and he's leaning on me a little, which has Andrew thinking the worst. "I'm fine," Noah snaps irritably, swatting him away as though he were a fly. I really enjoy watching that, especially because Andrew swoops right back in, just like a fly would. Vampire fly. With quite a bit of fussing and fidgeting, they get Noah settled in his desk chair. I can tell Andrew wants to suggest going home for a nap, but the set of Noah's jaw obviously deters him, and he goes back to his desk to pretend to work while he actually watches Noah obsessively. It's sweet. But Noah's going to snap and go on a killing spree, I can tell, so I do my part to save Andrew's life by going over and planting myself on the edge of his desk. His gaze immediately shoots to me, then back to Noah, then, more slowly, back to me, then down to where my arse is perched on top of his to-do list. "Did you need something?" he asks dryly. "We never finished our chat about our secondary best friendship," I declare with a smile, wriggling my arse a bit to hear the paper crinkle. He laughs. "You are such a shit-stirrer," he says amiably, leaning back in his chair and turning slightly so he can keep one eye on Noah while he's talking to me. "Okay, tell me about our secondary best friendship." "Well," I begin, "obviously Sam's my bestest BFF, and nobody can ever take him away from me. Gideon tried, but failed." "Say what?" Sam raises his head from where he's staring at his screen. "Gideon and I are in a committed relationship. What are you even talking about?" "Ah, but we're still bestest besties, forever. That's a lot of years, Sam. Not even Gideon could sunder the bond between us." Sam sighs and returns his attention to what he was working on. "But you," I turn back to Andrew, "you're my secondary best friend. Our bond is also forever, even though it's much newer. The friendship we have is different than what I have with Sam. He feeds me and tells me how pretty I am. You do the Macarena with me and know all the choreography to Baby One More Time. Brittany is a pop icon. He agrees. Noah and Sam both groan, although I happen to know that Sam likes to sing Oops, I Did It Again while he's cleaning. Right, so you're my secondary best friend. Wait, Noah says, sounding reluctantly curious. Andrew's your secondary best friend, and, oh my God, I can't believe I just said those words, but are you his, or are you his primary best friend? Bestest bestie, I correct, because the terminology is important. No, it doesn't work that way. It has to be a completely reciprocal relationship level, or people can get jealous and schisms form. Entire nations have gone to war because of that. Sure they have. He looks at Andrew. So who's your best friend? You, Andrew says promptly, and we all laugh. No, Noah says. I mean, yes, but I'm your boyfriend best friend. It's a completely different level of relationship. Fuck me, they've sucked me into the vortex of their idiocy. There's no escape either, Sam commiserates. Once you're in, that's it. They have you for life. At least my life won't last as long as yours, Noah mutters. Freedom is only half a century or so away. From the way Andrew tenses, I figured this would be the best time to get the conversation back on track. Yeah, Andrew, who's your bestest BFF? I ask, drawing the words out because they sound so much better that way. I always walk in on the weirdest conversations, David says from the doorway. Do you guys time it or something? Wait until you hear me coming? Or is this just how you are all the time when I'm not around? David, Andrew says quickly. If we're judging by people who will always feed me, then definitely David is my best friend. David stops dead in his tracks halfway to his desk. What did you say? Why is this news to me? He also needs to tell you that you're pretty, I remind Andrew. We all look at David. I don't even know what's happening here, he says. You need to tell Andrew he's pretty, I instruct, to seal the bond of your bestest best friendship. I still don't know what's happening here. He shakes his head, goes to his desk and puts down his laptop. The rest of us wait. Don't you think I'm pretty, David? Andrew asks with a wicked gleam in his eye and a plaintive note in his voice. This isn't going to stop until I admit defeat, is it? David asks Noah. He shakes his head. Really sorry you got dragged in, though. David sighs. Andrew, you're pretty. I cheer. Andrew shoves me off his desk. Luckily, I am a hellhound, the epitome of grace and quick reflexes, and I land on my feet, rather than sprawled across the floor. Percy's ready for you, David says before I can turn on the kicked puppy act and make Andrew grovel. I look at my watch. Shit! Fortunately, I'm not actually late, but still. I shake a finger at Andrew as I grab my phone and a notepad from my desk. We will be having words later. You do not treat your secondary best friend like that. As I leave, I hear David saying, Do I really want to know? It's Alistair, Sam replies. Spare yourself. They all love me so much. Chapter 2. Alistair. I knock lightly on Percy's office door. He has an assistant, but she was on a call when I walked past her, so I'm not sure if I can just go in or not. Enter. So that's a yes. I open the door and walk in, my sense of smell telling me immediately that Percy's not alone. Turning back to close the door again gives me a few extra seconds to compose myself. The Irish cat, Aidan Byrne. There's a lot to say about Aidan. He's the species leader of all shifters, both canid and felid. Like Percy's position as Lucifer, it's a job conferred by the existential magic. You could be living your ordinary life, then one day you wake up and, bam, you've been invested with a power to lead. That better bloody never happen to me, is all I'm saying. Anyway, Aidan is, well, he's a cat for starters, which tells you how uptight he is. I can't deny that he's very good at his job and very highly respected, and not just because we shifters have an intrinsic need to show respect to our leaders. Does it sound like I have a problem with Aidan? Because I do, just a little one. I can't quite bring myself to forget how quick he was to suggest compelling Sam's shift that first time. It turned out to be the best option, but a compelled shift is awful, an experience we actively avoid, and Aidan just threw it out there like it was a walk in the park. My bestie deserved better than that. But that's in the past, and the fact he's here and Percy's asked me to be here too means something is going on in the shifter world. Last I heard, he was still on the West Coast, visiting with the pack the traitors were from and trying to figure out more about the elf people who can open portals between dimensions. "Hi, Alistair," Percy calls from the small table by the window. "Come and join us." I obey, like the good boy I am, but we're going to be awfully cosy with the three of us sitting at that table. Lucky that feelids aren't as big as hellhounds. Percy's not much over 5.5 feet tall, and Aidan's only a few inches taller than that, and they're both slender. It makes me feel somewhat of a hulking beast as I pull out a chair and join them. I do make a very good beast, though. I have the perfect growl and everything. "Hello, Alistair," Aidan says, that faint Irish lilt coming out on my name. "Good morning," I replied cheerfully to them both, because I have a feeling I'm not going to enjoy this meeting, and it's worth getting some cheer in while I can. "We'll jump right in," Percy begins. "You know Aidan has been with the Oregon pack for the last few weeks." I nod. "Yes. Any luck?" Aidan shakes his head. "Not really. It doesn't help that so much of what we know is classified and can't be shared. All I've been able to tell anyone is that the 2 lads we have in custody are being charged with an attack on government agents, and that we suspect the involvement of 3 more. So far, I haven't even managed to confirm the identities of the ones Noah saw with Tish." Are people clamming up? I'm a little surprised. Not that they'd want to protect their own, but that nobody is willing to talk to the species leader. "I'm sure some are. But if I'm right in my suspicions, it's more that all 5 lads are from a very rural area and a very small closely related subgroup within the pack." It hits me what he's trying not to say. "You think everyone who knows them well is involved with Tish?" He shrugs and spreads his hands. "It's possible." "Likely," Percy corrects. "As awful as it would be for this to be more than a group of young hellhounds seduced by the promise of wealth, I think we need to assume it may actually be an ideology that led them to follow Tish." I rub my hand through my hair. "I hate that idea," I admit. "But yeah, it's probably true. Has the pack leader been able to give you any information about the group?" "Some," Aidan concedes. "But he says they keep to themselves a lot, and as long as they were appearing to follow the law and not causing trouble, he had no reason to question that. You know how packs are, Alistair. This isn't some human werewolf movie. Pack leader is a localized governance position, not a feudal king. And since we're trying to keep this low-key, neither he nor you can compel anyone to talk," I sigh. Not that I like the idea of compelling anyone. It really is awful. But we're dealing with a crisis of gargantuan levels here. Tish is trying to enslave humanity. In his mission to do so, he spent more than 40 years experimenting on members of our community. He's also in league with dimension-hopping elves. We don't know what their aim is. All we know is that we have to find some way to stop them all. Tish is not only guilty of murder on a massive scale, he's also very close to exposing us all to humans, and that wouldn't go well. There's a reason we've been hidden from them for the past nearly 9,000 years, and that's because they tried to exterminate us. So, what do you need from me? It's obvious there's something. Why else would I be here? Percy smiles, and I immediately feel like I'm being rewarded. It's a side effect of his investiture as Lucifer, but I still like it. We think the pack might respond better to a hellhound who isn't officially in a position of authority. Aidan's the species leader and a cat, and they're used to thinking of their pack leader as being an authority as well. Someone who seems less official, who's there just to tie up some reporting loose ends, might have more luck. Not with that particular subgroup, especially if they're working with Tish, but with other members of the larger pack who might have information. The adolescent ones, especially, seemed rather awestruck when I tried to actually talk to them, Aidan adds dryly. It was a bloody awkward experience, with some of them twice my size. None of us bothers to comment that size really doesn't matter when you're taking on the species leader. The existential magic invested Aidan with the job, and the magic has a way of making sure its favourites are taken care of. So you want me to go out to Oregon and talk to people? Sure, I can do that. People love me. It's true. I'm sure you've noticed. Wonderful, Percy says with another smile. I'll need Aidan for some other matters this afternoon, but you can leave first thing tomorrow. Wait, what? If he needs Aidan, why does that mean I can't...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?